The following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Well, we made it to a Friday on Main Street Sports today, and we'll be joined by Nashville Sounds play-by-play voice Jeff Hem. Baseball around the corner. Also, Joe Williamson Herald, but we'll be talking a little Fairgrounds Speedway news. Also, our final predictions for the Final Four. That's coming up this weekend. All that and more on this Friday edition, April 1st, 2022. Now, the Hall of Famer and Sports Writer of the Year, Mo Patton, with the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Yes, welcome into this Friday. It is an April Fool's Friday. Man, we're taking the April Fool's news out with the trash today, I guess. Hope you guys have had a fantastic week and hope you're getting ready for a great weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. This show is going to be a lot of fun as well. I'm looking forward to it. We got a lot of little things. It's going to be a ton of topics, not a lot of analysis necessarily. We want to get you all the information that we can possibly get you in this hour and a half period. So we're going to do our best to do it. What we are going to start with, though, is yesterday's results, the weekend's schedule for the most part. So we'll send it back to JP and give you the Friday rundown.
This is the Rundown. The Friday Rundown is brought to you by Chip Walters of Exit Realty, Bob Lamb and Associates. The voice of the Blue Raiders also wants to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Contact Chip at 615-542-1915 or through his website at choosechip.net. Chip Walters, proud to support local youth sports in southern Middle Tennessee. All right, busy day yesterday, high school baseball. It was Loretto falling to Russellville from Alabama 3-2. The final there, Clarksville Academy over Hampton 18-1. Spring Hill over Summertown in 10 innings, 6-5. Oakland falls to Hartselle from Alabama 7-6. Tullahoma 5-4 winners over Siegel. Briarcrest Christian 10-4 over Smyrna. It was Tullahoma big over Overton. Beach defeated Silver Creek out of Indiana. Eagleville over Aurora Central Catholic out of Illinois. MBA over Hendersonville yesterday. Station Camp defeated Watkins Memorial from Ohio. Noblesville, Indiana, big over Wilson Central. It was Hardin County 5-2 over Lawrence County. Ravenwood 4-3 over Mount Juliet. Dixon County falls to Rossview. CPA downed Father Rhyme. Pope Prep over Innsworth. And Lipscomb Academy defeated Brentwood Academy on Thursday. High school softball yesterday. Zion Christian shuts out South Haven. Lawrence County does the same to Page. White House Heritage 8-4 winners over Portland. Summertown 5-3 winners over Loretto. Rossview shut out by Clarksville. It was Waverly big over Dixon County. Same for Innsworth over St. Cecilia, and Good Pasture 10-0 shutout over Friendship Christian. On the pitch, boys soccer from Thursday, Lebanon 1-0 over Mount Juliet. Oakland falls to Davidson from Alabama 3-2. Laverne 3-2 winners over Smyrna. Beach falls to Gallatin 4-3. Station Camp 2-1 winners over Huntsville, that is from Alabama. Page 8-0 over Marshall County. Women's basketball last night, WNIT Final Four, semifinals. Seton Hall, 74. MTSU, 73. Tough loss there last night. On tap for today, been waiting for this one for a while. NCAA Division I baseball, Tennessee at Vanderbilt tonight. Game 1 of a 3-game set. SEMO at Austin P. Belmont and Murray State. Lipscomb and Bellarmine begin their series, as well as does Western Kentucky and MTSU in the Burl. 100 miles of hate, Mo. It carries to the diamond as well, does it not?
No doubt.
Trevecca at Finlay as well. starting their series. NAIA, Freed Hardeman and Cumberland, and JUCO Balls State and Walter State, 2 o'clock first pitch should be underway. And Columbia State, Southwest Tennessee State. Those doubleheaders today? Just a one game.
Not all of them. Some of them are. Some
Okay.
of them are weekend series. Some of them have doubleheaders on Sunday.
All right, there you go. College softball, Tennessee State at SIU Edwardsville, Southern Illinois University Edwardsville. Lipscomb at Kennesaw State. Belmont at UT Martin. FAU at MTSU. Mississippi State from the borough to Knoxville. They will be in Tennessee this weekend. NAIA Cumberland at Bethel, JUCO, Ball State, and Walter State, Columbia State, and Southwest Tennessee State. Also, both of those doubleheaders beginning today. NHL tonight, the Preds are in Buffalo to take on the Sabres, 6 p.m. puck drop. And tonight, the Suns at the Grizzlies tonight in Memphis. That's a spicy matchup. NBA TV, 7 p.m. tip-off at the FedEx Forum. There's your Friday rundown brought to you by Chip Walters. ChooseChip.net.
Quick look at our top story. The opening tip comes from it's local to Main Street Sports area, but also local to Florida Gulf Coast. So we're going pretty wide here. But when you get a chance to talk about Kendall Spray and her incredible shot from behind the arc, Coach John Wild said that he hoped Larry Legend was watching. I'm not sure last night that Larry Legend could have beat Kendall Spray.
I think the only person that could have beat Kendall Spray last night did. Jordan Bohannon from Iowa in the Contest of Champions, I think they call it,
Yes.
after the former Wilson Central standout won the Rocket Mortgage three-point shooting competition amongst the 8-woman field. And it was pretty incredible. I mean, her opening round of 18 was her worst round.
That's insane.
That was in the quarters, basically. She put up 23 in the semis, 25 in the finals, and then came back with 19 against Bohannon. And I think she was just tired, maybe. But she also missed 2 money balls on that final matchup. And if she had hit one of those, she ties him. If she hits both of them, she beats him. But fantastic performance from former Wilson Central standout who played at UT Martin and Clemson before finishing up her NCAA career down at Florida Gulf Coast this past season. Heck of a season for her.
And her team. I mean,
well,
great
and
year.
her team. And I thought it was ironic, and nobody really picked up on it. In the finals, she shot against
the Virginia
Aisha
Tech.
Chambers, I think, of Virginia Tech, which was who Florida Gulf Coast defeated in the opening round of the NCAA.
Virginia Tech, if they the next time they see FGC,
They're just going to turn and leave.
will be too soon.
Yeah, no, we're good. We are good. Yeah. At Florida Gulf Coast, she was 103 of 226 from behind the arc.
It's almost 50%.
45.6.
Goodness gracious, that's incredible. She can shoot that thing.
She can shoot the leather off of it, man. She hit 125, setting an Ohio Valley Conference record as a sophomore at UT Martin in 17-18. Ranks 4th all-time in NCAA history with 466 made three-pointers between Martin, Clemson, and Florida Gulf Coast. So,
well, be interested to see if she gets a shot at the next level.
Tommy Bryan of the Wilson Post had a piece earlier this week. Seems like if she plays anywhere, it'll kind of be adult league. She seems to be done.
Yeah.
Which I'd try to talk her out of it, but because she has an ability to do something at a high level that a lot of people don't have.
Yep, there's no question there. Kendall Spray wins the Rocket Mortgage 3-point shooting contest, and so congratulations to her. Let's talk some baseball. The rest of this hour, or the rest of this first half, will be baseball because Jeff Him joins us. We'll talk about the Dodgers and their love for our sloppy seconds. So we'll or thirds, I guess, from at this point, fourths, fifths, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to all that in the rest of this first half. So stick around on Main Street Sports today. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org, or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
Other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. We're back here on this Friday edition of Main Street Sports Today, coming at you with some bat and ball, stick and ball, as they call it.
Sports ball,
Sports
as
ball.
others call it, yeah.
I cannot believe we are less than a week away from both minor league and Major League Baseball. It's going to be a lot of fun. I am looking very much forward to my trip to Atlanta in a couple of weeks. Going to be a lot of fun. So, but I'm also looking forward to a trip to Nashville next week, where the Nashville Sounds will be opening their year at First Horizon Park. And to talk about what all is going on, we have the voice of the Nashville Sounds on the line with us, Jeff Him. Jeff, long time no talk. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, guys. It is all is right in the world. We're talking baseball, and the season is here, and it's just great to be with you guys. I appreciate your time as always and having me on. And it's so strange. It doesn't feel like that long ago we were wrapping up the season on one of your shows last September, and here we are ready to roll again.
We appreciate you taking the time, Jeff. I know you're busy, especially as the season approaches. The Sounds begin their season on Tuesday night with a 6-game homestand. Durham, Tampa Bay's Class AAA affiliate, will be coming into First Horizon Park for an International League matchup. And will all 6 be against Durham, Jeff? Is that still the case?
Yeah, as we talked about last year, there were some unique elements in the schedule compared to pre-COVID and the old Pacific Coast League days, and a lot of those things are going to continue. From a pure baseball standpoint, a lot of people really liked the 6-game series. I think from a fan standpoint, there is reason to like it, and I think from a continuity standpoint of a fan to kind of get accustomed to when the Sounds are going to play and when they might not. The Monday off days, other than like 2 exceptions this year, are going to continue, as are the 6-game series. So we've got Durham in all next week, starting on Tuesday, and then we'll go on the road for 6 games and come on back. So that kind of formula worked in a lot of ways for a lot of people last year, and that is going to continue again this year.
I tell you, having covered minor league baseball and the Sounds in particular for an extended period of time, the one concern is if a series gets off to a bad start or a heated start, you don't really have a chance to diffuse it. Over 6 games, you can have a lot of bad blood work up if you're not careful.
I had the same thought last year, and I can guarantee you our manager, Rick Sweet, who is back again this year, had that same thought and question going into last year. And not to say that it can't happen this year, but we never really saw that become a factor within a series last year. And you're right, that is possible. And that's really like the one, other than the oddity of it, people say, well, I'm used to 3 or 4 game series, and this and that. I understand that part of it. But other than the uniqueness of it, the only potential negative, I think, is the possibility that you get some bad blood or something with the umpires on day 1 or 2 of a series, and everybody's going to continue for a few more days. We didn't see it last year, and I think there are so many positives with this formatted schedule that they far outweigh a rare exception of something like you described happening. So I don't think that possibility was enough to make them switch gears back to a 3 or a 4 game series. I think of it from the pure baseball standpoint. You think, okay, 6 game series, if you've got a 5-man rotation, and sometimes it's 6 men and only a guy's going to pitch 1 game a week. But if you have a 5-man rotation, whoever works that Tuesday game has the opportunity to then work the Sunday series finale. And from a pure baseball standpoint and trying to get guys prepared to pitch in the big leagues, there's the kind of game within the game, making the adjustment. Hey, we just saw these guys. I did well against them. How are they going to approach me differently? Or I struggled on Tuesday. How am I going to get this lineup out on Sunday? I think there's value from a development standpoint for AAA guys in that standpoint. And like I said, I think that's just one of many positives with a 6-game series like we will have again this year.
We are clearly on the same wavelength, Jeff, because I was just getting ready to go there. Do you try to get around that? Do you just go with a 6-man rotation, or do you actually roll somebody out there twice in the same series?
Yeah, I think most of the time last year, we didn't see a lot of Tuesday, Sunday rematches on the mound. We saw some, but usually by that Sunday, of course, as you guys well know, roster moves can be a part of this. So your rotation Tuesday can look a lot different by Sunday. So there's that one component. But there were a lot of times where maybe one of the 2 teams had the same guy starting on Sunday, but that he started on Tuesday, but not both teams. Probably only a handful of times did we really see that rematch. I think part of the appeal to the MLB side, in this case for the Sounds, the Brewers, was the idea that, hey, we can, especially last year coming out of a lost 2020, the idea was, hey, we can have these guys pitch 1 day a week. They'll get the extra rest. There's not a lot. We don't want to rush them back out there on Sunday. So for one reason or another, usually guys were going to make 1 start per week last year. Some guys occasionally made 2, but I think the MLB clubs like the idea of let's kind of gradually get these guys back to a bigger workload. Now, maybe this year we'll see a little bit more of the Tuesday, Sunday rematches, since a lot of guys that are going to be on the field come Tuesday had a pretty good chunk of time last year, whereas in 2020, a lot of them had almost nothing at all. So maybe we'll see a little bit more of the Tuesday, Sunday 5-man rotation rematch this year compared to last.
Jeff, looking at this schedule, I find it, really interesting because, as Mo mentioned, International League, and I'm assuming that these 3 divisions, Southeast, Midwest, Northeast, all part of that league. But for the most part, it doesn't look like the Sounds ever touch anyone from the Northeast, but they do go to quite a few teams from the Midwest. Columbus, who I think we saw last year a couple of times, Indianapolis on the schedule, St. Paul and Toledo. Don't get Iowa, Louisville, or Omaha. It looks there's a series with Louisville. I'm sorry, but it's interesting how they're keeping us going west instead of to the Northeast. And I wonder if that's going to change next year, where you'll see more teams from the Northeast down here. Because I would love to see the Iron Pigs personally, see if they wear their bacon uniforms.
Yeah, it's a good point. The scheduling becomes unique, even as we hopefully distance ourselves more and more going forward from COVID. And last year it was even more regionalized. I mean, as you guys know, it felt like every week I was talking with you, the Sounds were playing Gwinnett. We're still going to see a good amount of Gwinnett. Braves fans in Middle Tennessee can be happy to know we will have the Stripers coming in, but we're not playing them 30 times this year in total like we did last year. So it's normalizing a bit. For example, we never played Durham last year, even though they were in our division. That was from a COVID standpoint, minimized travel. This year we will see Durham right away, and we go to Durham. So we will see everybody home and road within our division. Norfolk is the same way, the Orioles AAA affiliate. But from a schedule standpoint, it is challenging because our league, as you mentioned, it's the International League, and that name is simply an homage to the former International League, even though there is not an international team in the league anymore. There were enough folks, especially out east, who liked that name, and it was just kind of a tradition in the same way that the Pacific Coast League is now back instead of calling it the AAA West. So it's just a return to normalcy in terms of the name. But there are 20 teams in our league compared to 10 in the other AAA league. So I don't know if we will, to your point, ever see Lehigh Valley or Scranton or the Worcester Red Sox or Buffalo. It's possible, but it's just you've only got so many games, and you don't want to not see your division the most. So there are a lot of other teams to try to mix in. So when they work out of the division, I think the logic becomes, all right, let's play as much of the Midwest division as possible instead of the East. And so this year we do see St. Paul, like you mentioned, we go there. I think it's on our second road trip. We don't see Iowa and Omaha, but because they're in that Midwest division, I think in future years we might. So we'll see a mix of the Midwest division in most years. I'll be interested in 23 if we see that Northeast division at all. I would not be surprised if we don't, though, just because of the distance to travel. Now, a lot of teams at AAA get to submit a few teams that they would like to play if possible. For example, St. Paul being a Twins affiliate, they want to host the Sounds because we're a Brewers affiliate, and you have the Twins Brewers component. So you have people in St. Paul who might be interested to see us coming in the same way that we, the Sounds, love to host Louisville, a Reds affiliate, and Gwinnett, a Braves affiliate. So there are some requests that get to be made by AAA teams of who they ideally would like to see, and there are different reasons of why those teams would be those teams. But I don't know if we'll see the Northeast division at some point down the line. As you said, we will not see them this year for a couple of different reasons.
It's a little odd, and we're speaking with Nashville Sounds play-by-play announcer Jeff Ham here on Main Street Sports Today. Jeff, as you
that's not what's odd.
No. That's not what's odd at all. It is completely normal for us to be speaking with
Yeah,
the voice of the Sounds, Jeff Ham. What is a little odd is as you're looking at the Sounds 2022 schedule and you're looking at the teams that make up the International League, and Jeff just mentioned Worcester, not Worcester, but the Worcester Red Sox. They were Pawtucket forever. Pawtucket no longer exists with the new minor league baseball realignment of teams and the like that took place prior to last season. But I mean, if you're a traditionalist, if you're old school, it's a little jar there to see that team no longer in existence.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
It is, yeah, it is a little odd. I think, from our standpoint here in Nashville, I think, we've talked about this. If you sort of did a straw poll of Middle Tennessee MLB fans, you're going to get a lot of Braves, you're going to get a lot of Cardinals, you're going to get a lot of Reds, and we play the AAA affiliate of all those teams. Then in that poll, you would probably get some Cubs, some Yankees, or some Red Sox, in some sort of numbers. And so we, the Sounds, would love to still get to play Iowa because we would see some Cub fans come to First Horizon Park when we play Iowa. In the same way, we'd love to see Scranton come through with the Yankees, and hopefully someday we do host the Worcester Red Sox because there is that component of people in Middle Tennessee being, hey, I'm a Red Sox fan. I want to go see, quote unquote, my team play. We want people to root for the Sounds, but if that's what brings you out to the ballpark as a baseball fan, we want to have that for you. So we're excited to have Louisville and Gwinnett and Memphis as usual. Maybe somewhere down the road we'll see the parent clubs of AAA teams coming through here that are even more unique than what we've seen in the last several years when we haven't played any of those types of teams in the past Pacific Coast League games.
Jeff Ham, the voice of the Sounds, with us here on Main Street Sports today. The Nashville Sounds open their International League schedule on Tuesday night, 6:35 against visiting Durham. That series continues throughout the week and concludes on Sunday. Is that also a 6:35 start? Is it 6:35 all six games?
That's a day game.
That's a day game.
Yeah, we'll do the Sunday day games until about the middle of June when the heat rises and school gets out.
Okay. All right. So 6:35 Tuesday through Saturday and 2:05 on Sunday.
2:05.
The 205, in honor of me, clearly in the Birmingham area code. But before the game, you should definitely check out the block party. So the first 1,000 fans in attendance on Tuesday will get a schedule cling, but from 4 to 6 on Junior Gilliam Way, there will be live music, face painters, balloon artists, food trucks, and more. So,
and hair braiding. You going to go get your hair braided, Chris?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Absolutely. Good luck to them, right?
Right.
Jeff.
And a photo booth with Booster. Don't leave that out.
Booster. I love Booster.
Booster the Rooster. Gotta love him. Yeah.
Jeff, we appreciate it. Looking forward to talking to you the rest of the season, and it's going to be a great one. I got a feeling.
Sounds great, guys. I can't wait. And hopefully we'll see a lot of folks out on Tuesday night. NashvilleSounds.com, as always. Thanks, guys.
At Jeff Him PBP on Twitter. Go follow him. Get all the news that is news from across Nashville Sounds baseball.
Unfortunately, didn't get to ask him about the roster, but I don't know that the roster has been set yet. Anyway,
listen, the Brewers literally they legitimately the other day, I think they took names out of the hat and put them onto they had people playing positions they've never played before. 0 innings played at shortstop for this one dude, and he's out there starting at shortstop. So who knows? It's going to be a lot of fun, though. Tuesday will be great. So get out to First Horizon. When we come back, we'll talk a little Major League Baseball. Plenty to talk about there. So you guys come back with us on Main Street Sports today. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Welcome back in Friday. Finally Friday on this Mule Day weekend here in Columbia. If you're planning on coming down for Mule Day, you should have left yesterday.
We're full.
It's going to be a lot of folks down here tomorrow. So if you're going to come down to the parade, feel free to come by our office at 315 West 7th Street. It's going to be a lot of fun. There will be some refreshments and snacks and things of that nature. And unfortunately for you, I'll be here. So
Fortunately for you, I will not.
But should be a lot of fun this weekend. Going to be a blast. Let's talk a little Major League Baseball as we get off some minor league, and news announced today from Ken Rosenthal, not April Fool's, apparently.
Apparently not.
AJ Pollock has been traded from the Los Angeles Dodgers to the Chicago White Sox. In return, the Dodgers will receive Craig Kimbrell. Now,
And if that name sounds familiar,
the Huntsville native, former Calhoun Community College standout.
so he probably pitched against Columbia State
At some point. It's likely.
Yeah. That's probably not where you know the name from,
No.
though. Former Atlanta Braves closer Craig Kimbrell, now a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers, joining another former Atlanta Brave at Chavez Ravine. So I guess if you can't beat them, take their ex-players.
Well, I mean, Alex Anthopoulos did come from the Dodgers. So I guess it's 2 for 2 at this point.
I guess.
But I think we've won the trades over time. Alex Anthopoulos has certainly been a phenomenal asset to the Braves. But, you know, the Braves and Craig Kimbrell were dealing, and they couldn't get it done. And so, go ahead.
Not Calhoun. Wallace.
That's right. He did play at Wallace, which means it's more likely that they played each other.
There you go.
He played with the guy that I graduated high school with at Wallace. I don't know why that didn't register with me. Anyway,
Spent 5 years with the Braves from 2010 to 14.
Kimbrell and the Braves were trying to get something done. They weren't able to. And so the Braves went and got Kenley Jansen, which is pretty good.
Which is basically why Kimbrell is in LA.
In LA, yeah, because they needed a closer.
Yeah.
So I like this guy's idea. Braves, Dodgers, 162 game series, and if it's tied at the end, 1 game play-in. Let's just play. Seriously, let's just play the Dodgers 162 times.
See what happens.
See what
Yeah.
happens.
So he was traded just prior to the start of the 2015 season to San Diego,
Right.
along with
We had to give
Melvin
BJ.
Upton Jr.
Yeah, we had to give him Craig to get rid of BJ.
Yeah. In exchange for Carlos Quentin, Cameron Maben, Matt Whistler, Jordan Parabek, and the 41st overall pick in the 2015 MLB draft, who turned out to be opening day starter Max Fried.
Maximus Fried.
There we go. Since then, he's also been with the Boston Red Sox, the Chicago Cubs, the Chicago White Sox, and as of today, the Dodgers. And as I commented to you in a text, I don't know that I've seen a good player change teams as much as Craig Kimbrell has.
Yeah, that is unusual. You don't see a player of his caliber traded that often.
I mean, Braves, Padres, Red Sox, Cubs, White Sox, Dodgers. What's that? Is that 6 teams?
Yeah. It's what you were saying. I was like sloppy seconds or thirds, or it might be 6th. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been forever since he was a Brave.
Yeah.
And it has.
So should be interesting to see how he is received when he gets to Truist Park later this season, along with that other ex-Brave on the Dodgers roster.
I mean, Kimbrell's pitched against the Braves since
he left,
leaving, but
he's not pitching in Dodger blue though.
Craig Kimbrell is not a Brave for any of his own doing.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Yeah, he was traded away
and has not been dealt with since. I mean, at no point have the Braves and Craig Kimbrell really been able to deal as individuals. It's always been, he's got a contract, you got to deal with him as the other teams are dealing with him. So there's that. So on the other hand, Freddie Freeman, well,
anyway,
just as an FYI, the Twins are kicking the Braves' tail.
Yeah.
But Travis d'Arnaud did go yard. So don't forget that he was the 2020 Silver Slugger. So,
I mean, spring training is great. And anytime you take the field, you want to win. But I'm not going to get too torn up over losing games that don't take place in a major league park.
No, I'm not mad. I'm just saying, don't forget that Travis d'Arnaud is pretty darn good.
Well, that kind of goes back to the conversation we were having yesterday regarding the depth of this lineup.
It's still one of the deepest. And now A.J. Pollock being gone from the Dodgers certainly takes some depth out of their lineup.
You would think.
So,
and apparently it makes Taylor, what's his first name?
Oh, Justin? No.
Taylor, the utility guy.
I don't remember.
He's going to be the everyday guy in left field, it seems like, and Gavin Lux will be every day at second base, is what it sounds like will be the result of thinning out that lineup with moving Pollock to the White Sox.
That's
Chris Taylor.
That is not ideal if you're a Dodger fan.
I don't think it is, because
defensively specifically.
Yeah, I'm not sure Gavin Lux is anybody's answer at second base, but I mean, hey, never stop your enemy in the middle of making a mistake. Y'all do y'all, Dodgers.
How about it? Let's take a break and go to halftime. The Dodgers.
We're just going to skip this day in Braves history.
Oh, is there? It starts today. You're right. And something else starts today. Oops.
This day in Braves history, on April 1st, 1968, the Braves purchased Orioles right-handed reliever Stu Miller, best remembered for committing a balk in the 1961 All-Star game when a gust of wind pushed him off the mound at Candlestick. 40-year-old Massachusetts native throws 1.2 innings in 2 appearances for the Braves before retiring. Tells you how bad the Braves were, probably. having compiled a 105 and 103 record with 153 saves during a 16-year major league tenure with 5 teams. So that was the first installment of many of this day in Braves history. And if you would like to sponsor this year in Braves history, give us a call, shoot us a DM,
text, an email.
Get at us.
It doesn't matter. Comment.
Yep.
We'll get to you.
We'd love to have you.
All right. Yes. Let's go take a break. It is halftime, and we got the second half coming up. So y'all stick around on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, 3-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama, so the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. Hey, welcome back in. It is halftime. Hey, have you guys seen that the WWE news?
Negative.
Ahead of this year's WrestleMania.
No crickets. Yeah.
Well, ahead of this year's WrestleMania, there will be 45 current and former college athletes, including 19 football players, trying out to be roster members of the WWE.
I like it.
It'll take place at the Curtain. At the Star in Frisco.
Curtain.
And
wonder if at CUSA Curtain will be reporting on this.
It probably should. So this WWE announced an NIL program. So if you wanted to be sponsored by the WWE in college, you can be, and it kind of presents a pathway to getting into professional wrestling.
Can we get an NIL deal here at Main Street Media? It's a good idea. Right?
Absolutely.
I'm not sure there's an athlete among us that.
Well, you don't have to be an athlete. Name, image, likeness doesn't say anything about an athlete.
It's true. Just name image.
Yeah.
29 men, 24 women are 25 or younger. I just think this is interesting. I think this is a great idea. I mean, we've seen Steve McMichael, we've seen Bill Goldberg, we've seen The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, all former, college and pro.
Players.
Well, I mean, pro football players in the Steve McMichael's case. I mean,
why not?
I don't see why it's the perfect. It's the perfect other option, I guess, if you're a college football player. You've got a TCU offensive lineman, Washington State defensive lineman David Hobbs, Abdullah Abadi Fitzgerald from Kentucky, a Samford defensive lineman, Armand Lloyd, and Evidence Njoku, who is the younger brother of Browns tight end David Njoku.
Nice.
Trying out. And then you got a couple of basketball players. So Lorenzo Edwards, son of former NBA first-round draft pick Kevin Edwards, is trying out. So, good for the WWE, because right now they're getting their butts kicked by other options. Yeah, by other wrestling outlets. Yeah. So they need some help, and this is a great way to do it. So kudos.
How many options are there?
A bunch, but there are two major ones.
Major, yeah, that have
AEW is the other one.
AEW,
All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah.
And that's who's beating WWE right now.
Pretty much, they're kicking their butt.
Go figure.
What is
elite.
Monday Night Raw? Is that not still go? Is that WWE?
Monday and Thursday are still their thing, but
SmackDown is Thursday.
Thursday's the SmackDown, and then but AEW has Dynamite, and that's their little show or whatever. So I'm happy for WWE. They need some help. So anyway, that's all I got for halftime. Mo said he's out on that. He's like, I can't deal with this WWE stuff. He's going to come back and hit me with a chair. I saw Jeff Jarrett in a lucha libre match of some sort. He goes and they're just absolutely Spanish talking. It was hilarious. Anyway, that was pretty funny. The double J. All right. When we come back, second half should be fun. So stick around.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Second half action on Main Street Sports Today. Coming up, we'll be joined by Joe Williams of the Williamson Herald, but we're talking a little NASCAR with him. The Fairgrounds, also a kind of a hodgepodge in their final segment. World Cup group stages. U.S. has qualified. The Predators, Final Four, both the men and the women. plenty of topics and also some local high school information as well. It's all coming up on second half of Main Street Sports Today on this Friday, April 1st, 2022. Now back to the Hall of Famer and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama. Here's Mo and Chris. Chris for now. Mo will be joining us in a moment. There he is. You just saw Mo. The Hall of Famer is back. All right, take it away, guys.
So it is April 1st. And we would be remiss if we did not mention that April Fool's Day is one of our favorite days of the year.
Yours more
Yours,
than mine,
yeah.
But
okay.
yes.
And you do a fantastic job with it, by the way.
Ours is fair, but
I
he kind
really-
of takes it to another level.
I really love to figure out something just ridiculous and chaotic, but just enough believable.
Sure.
So last year was the red field at Mount Pleasant?
Right. Last year
The red turf.
we reported that Mount Pleasant would be getting red AstroTurf.
Uh-huh.
And let's be honest, if anybody was going to do that, Ryan Jackson and that group
That's true.
would be all over it.
Dr. Jackson
and you
would
know what?
love that.
And
I'm
I
surprised he hasn't.
I'm surprised that he hasn't tried to get that funded.
Hey, he's still there.
I'm just saying, I'm surprised he hasn't tried to get it funded already.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's his kind of deal.
it. Absolutely. Or tiger striped or something. Like, I mean, it would look like Memphis's basketball court.
Yeah. Ooh.
Let's hope not.
But this morning we went to the interwebs, and Monday Night Football in high school, Monday Night Rivals was kind of where I went with it, and reported that Columbia Academy from here in Murray County would be playing their home games on Monday nights in order to make sure they had great officials and to satisfy a television deal that they would be televised statewide on Monday nights. And you know,
Become the Notre Dame of Tennessee high school football.
exactly.
There you go.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah. Private school. Yeah. Okay.
so I mean, it wasn't nearly as fun as the red turf, but it certainly was
You still
it was
piqued some interest.
just enough believable, and people were like, some people were excited about it.
Well, why not?
I mean,
Why wouldn't you be excited?
I just heard some comments about it here in the last little bit, actually. So, yeah.
well, I did put staff report on it. I didn't put my name on it. So
Oh, come on.
anyway,
That way, if it went bad,
Yeah.
there
exactly.
was
There
some
was- yeah.
plausible
Yeah,
deniability
CYA.
on Chris's part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely did not think about that at all.
Staff report's a loose term.
I did call publisher and owner Dave Gould to make sure that he was cool with it. He said, "I love this. Let's do it." Absolutely. He said so. And kudos to athletics director, Columbia Academy, Pernell Knox, and football coach Seth Anderson for allowing us to have a little fun
With their program.
So
And while Dave Gould did sign off on it, apparently he did not communicate it to the rest of our staff.
he did not. Tyler Palmatier.
Well, it defeats the purpose, though, right?
There's that.
Hook, line, and sinker.
We love you, Tyler.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We got some big fish.
But I will say that Tyler's response to
It's great.
to being had was pretty great. I mean, he was by my own company.
Wait, was I just had by an April Fool's joke by my own company? I hate this day. At T Palmatier 83.
So look, it's all in fun. And matter of fact, CA just the CA football account just retweeted it. So that should probably gain some traction. That'll be fun.
May have a little staying power with this one, yeah.
But it's not the only April Fool's joke, because the one that almost got you is really good.
It really is.
Fifth quarter recruiting, breaking 5-star 2022 quarterback Nico Iamaleava.
Not I am a leaver.
Not Iamaleava. Has flipped his commitment from Tennessee to Oregon as of this morning. Major loss for the Vols, huge win for Dillingham and company at Oregon. And you know, it's a solid
Solid.
It looks right. It looks good. It looks legitimate. And the way that high school kids, again, just enough believable.
Mm-hmm.
So well done to them. Anyway,
I just stay off information today because then you question everything. I don't know how the two of you get through a day like today as much as you guys scroll through.
Trust,
but
verify.
Yeah, it's a lot harder today. There's a lot of extra work just to get information today.
Yeah,
it's
tough.
We need to get to our next segment, but we have at least 2 or 3 different things we want to give you the information. There's not a lot to it, but Mount Juliet,
linebacker / safety Ethan Crisp
headed to Vandy to stay in that black and gold.
No, yeah,
he likes the black and gold apparently.
Yeah. Boys basketball coach Matt Hop, not sure on the pronunciation thereof, but after stepping in for Hubie Smith 3 years ago, is now out as boys basketball coach at Brentwood Academy. 68-12, 2 Division II AA state Final Four appearances in 3 seasons. More on that from Russell Benozzi at mainstreetpreps.com. Be sure and check that out. And also, the Brentwood Invitational Softball Tournament begins today at Crockett Park and at Granny White Park. Those games are just tonight in pool play. 29 teams, including Summit, Summertown, and Columbia Academy, the latter 2 reigning state champions. The latter 2 will play at 5:30 tonight on Field 4 at Crockett Park.
Summertown playing the first game of the tournament right now against Friendship Christian. So there you go. Columbia Academy, Summertown ought to be a great one if you have a chance to get out there. Lebanon, Summit, Davidson Academy, Wilson Central, lots of great teams in it. Beach, Good Pasture, Nolansville. Some great teams in this tournament all weekend long at Crockett and Granny White. So go check it out. Should be a great tournament again. When we come back, we're going to dive into a little bit of Nashville NASCAR information with the new granddad.
Yep, Papa Joe.
Papa Joe? That's a little close to Papa Mo. I don't know if we have to figure that out. Y'all come back with us here on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Imagine texting your dad, "Hey, I'm not going to make it today. Oh, I wish you would have let me know so I could have told him, April Fools, ha, gotcha, loser." That's amazing. There are some things today, JP, I wish that are reported were actually April Fools.
That aren't.
But aren't. So, one thing that is not April Fools is that Joe Williams is loving life as a grandfather. We can tell because we saw the picture. And Joe, it's very nice to see you in that kind of a moment, man. Congratulations to you and everyone else that is involved, of course. And welcome into the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much on both accounts. It's I never thought I'd be a grandfather.
Why not?
And I don't know. My grandmother. I have an older brother, 10 years older than I am, and she figured my grandmother told him I'd never live to see 13 because he killed me. So everything after that's just been gravy.
It's gravy.
Man. And this is This is some gravy I'm in right now. I don't even need biscuits.
Lily Joe.
Lily Joe, yeah, I'm just going to drop the Y.
Lil Joe.
Uh-huh.
Little Joe.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah,
let me know how
the
that
parents
works
are trying
out.
to, I was going to say, the parents are trying to keep that from getting started by calling her LJ. So,
Well,
It's
then you
okay.
can
It's all
tell
right.
people it stands for whatever you want it to stand for, Joe.
Exactly.
LJ works.
Exactly.
Just-
Exactly.
Joe,
Oh.
I've been wanting to talk to you for a little while now because the fairgrounds news around NASCAR and has kind of been non-existent, and then it ramps up and then it goes away for a while. So I don't really know where it stands right now, but I did read that Governor Lee had mentioned something about $17 million in some funding to lure NASCAR to the fairgrounds. Is that something that you're hearing? What's the latest?
Yeah. Well, that's a budget amendment that the governor put in for $17 million. And look, let's face it, guys. In the scheme of the Tennessee state budget, $17 million is chump change. What that is I think a clear signal that the state backs this plan. I think Metro backs this plan. I think that's the kind of impetus that says, okay, if there's a money issue, we're willing, because really it's all going to come back anyway in some special taxes that'll go against not against, that's a better way to put it, but the big part of the program itself. The holdup, I think, has been there was a couple of fair members, one in particular, who really pushed hard to slow things down as much as possible, and did a very good job of it for a couple of years. And one of those things was he required an outside agency to look at all the numbers to make sure that they were what they were supposed to be, and they've just been a little slow in finishing that up. The interesting part is the guy who has been most opposed to the racetrack for the past 4 years suddenly resigned a couple of weeks ago because the company that he's the chief legal officer for bought naming rights to the soccer stadium.
Well, I guess that makes a little sense.
Okay.
And I'm sure that's something that was negotiated over the course of 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that hasn't been going on for months. But don't get me started. I think the soccer stadium is going to be good for everybody. I just think they've got to, they're folks who've got to understand that there's room for everybody. And I think Bristol, this thing this will come to pass. And when it does, Bristol's going to come in and make a world-class facility out of the place and get her to where she should have been years ago.
That's kind of where what I was thinking, Joe. When you think about the renaissance that is kind of happening over there in that area, it just makes sense to spruce up the fairgrounds. The Speedway, it's not going anywhere, and it never was going to go anywhere. So the best thing you can do is make it as, one, visibly and aesthetically pleasing as possible, and two, as quiet as possible. And that's what Bristol is trying to do.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I went out to practice last week, and the Pro Late model cars are the top series locally. And it was amazing because they went out to practice. And I'm like, okay, there's a couple of cars on the racetrack. And I looked up and there were 5 going by me in a little pack. And I'm like, 40 years, I don't think I've ever heard them that quiet. So, the work that's already been done is working. And with the sound walls and the other barriers, and quite frankly, having that stadium sitting up there is going to block a bunch of it.
Sure.
So, that's going to be good. I mean, if you're worried about noise, can you imagine 30,000 Vizzulas going off at 12:15 in the morning because we're in, in golden kick time? I mean,
I have that is a term that I've never heard before that I may start using. Golden kick time.
Yeah,
I like it.
Joe Williams of the Williamson Herald with us here on Maiden Street Sports today, talking a little fairgrounds racing, among other things. Joe, when does the season start over there?
Season actually starts tomorrow. Tomorrow night, they're doing a special 118 lap race in honor of the 100.
Okay, go ahead. 118 in honor of
the 118th season. 118 years of racing at that facility.
I was just getting ready to ask a 118 lap event. Why? But you,
well,
you beat me to it.
So. Most races are designated by how many miles you run, but this is unique, and I like that. 118 laps is really cool, and 118 seasons at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway just goes to show the longevity and how important Nashville is to that level of racing. But it can also be important to the highest level of racing, and that's what Speedway Inc. is trying to bring to Nashville. You've got, the burnout on Broadway was a big deal. Of course, they were back last year at the Super Speedway. Speedway Inc. now owns the Super Speedway. This is the perfect opportunity for Nashville to not just help themselves, but Nashville helps NASCAR because it is such a great event city.
And you got to realize we're kind of, things repeat. History can repeat itself sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And 35 years ago, I was on the fringes of a plan, and we were what is now the east side of I-65 from Home Depot back to McEwen was going to be a super speedway. And the thinking was that as NASCAR was starting to move west and change some things, Nashville was going to become more centrally located to what was going to happen. And I think that was part of Dover's thought when they built the super speedway. Now, it's taken a whole lot longer, I think, than we all thought it would. But consider this. If you have a cup race at the super speedway, and then you also everybody wants to go back to the short tracks. All right. So now you have one at the fairgrounds. So you've got both types of racing right here in Nashville. Add to that the Music City Grand Prix. And ladies and gentlemen, Nashville becomes absolutely the center point of auto racing in America. And when that happens, Trackhouse racing is already running out of Nashville, but you got all these guys in Charlotte who are now facing 18, 20-hour drives to go to the West Coast, and they're going west to the Mississippi many more times than they did before. Well, wouldn't it just make more sense to move to Nashville and be more centrally located?
Might as well. Everybody else is.
Well, exactly. So in the course of, I think in the next 10 to 15 years, you could see a shift of the center, if you will, or at least instead of it being a straight line from Daytona up through the Carolinas and Virginia, you now see a triangle start, where you'll have folks in Charlotte who will base in Charlotte, you'll have folks who base in Nashville. You'll see operations build here, and these teams, guys, it's not like the old days where you had 5 guys on the open trailer. We're talking about 9-figure operations through the year with 400 employees.
NASCAR is still big business, despite what people might try to tell you. And it is a massive operation that is good for a lot of places especially still here in the South. I mean, again, like I told Mo, we were talking about auto racing in general, but when it comes to the passion of a fan base, you'd be hard pressed to find a more passionate fan base than NASCAR's fan base. And so,
and they're loyal.
none more loyal. Absolutely not. So I think that's kind of, you have to play to that. And the fact that you have a lot of people from California who, by the way, love NASCAR. Californians love NASCAR. I mean, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, they just gravitated to it, especially when Jeff started winning big in the 90s, and it was a great product at that time. So it's truly remarkable how far that the sport has come, and that it's coming back to Nashville, where Nashville has come from 35 years ago, like you said, Joe. So really excited, glad to know that this is pretty much what you feel like this is a done deal. It's going to happen eventually.
I think it's going to happen. I'm just not sure when it's going to finish up. I am confident that this is going to happen. If it doesn't, we're in great shape. Bristol's the only folks who can come in and do what needs to be done. They have the history, they have the people, quite frankly, they have the money.
Which is the most important part, by the way.
Well, in most cases, the thing about it is, if they make money, the city will make money, and that's the best part of this. The hotels and the restaurants and the convenience stores and all these folks are going to benefit from this. And that's just, that's just good business. That's how you build your economy.
And
it gives you just one more piece.
And as those people are able to make money and benefit from it, then the money that is being put into it becomes less of a factor.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
exactly. One note I want to throw at you real quick. I want to go back to the fairgrounds for a second. Remind you that Murray County's own Michael House, who won another title last year, a track title at Nashville, is one of the leaders going into tomorrow night's event.
Yeah,
so
we are.
I expect he's going to be very tough tomorrow night.
He's pretty tough every time he goes out, isn't he?
But he's got the competition that has developed out there over the last couple of years. Yeah, and he'll tell you, have my hands full. But yeah, I think he's got a chance to be very tough tomorrow night.
No question. Joe, thank you for taking some time. As always, we appreciate it. Go enjoy that grandbaby.
You got it. Well, she's going to get some sleep, and I am going to cover some softball tonight. So
hey,
go up to Brentwood. Brentwood Invitational's going up.
5:30, Columbia Academy, Summertown.
It's going to be
I was going to say, that's a game I want to see. I think that'll be a good one.
Holler at me.
You got it. See you there, guys.
Later.
Bye.
All right. When we come back, we will give you Mo's grab bag. It's a final segment on this Friday, but Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint, returns after this. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
All right, back at it one more time. Final segment of the week. Final segment on this Friday. Don't forget, come on down to Mule Town this weekend. Mule Day. Heading it up. Got a lot going on this weekend in sports. World Cup finalizing. United States is in. Could potentially match up with Iran, which should be some fireworks there. But the United States being in the World Cup is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, after having missed it the last time around, much to the chagrin of a number of
Sorry, Jacob
Sucker
DeGrom is
fans.
going. Jacob DeGrom to miss significant time with shoulder injury.
Don't laugh.
Met's gonna Met.
Met's gonna Met.
If he was anywhere else, I'd be upset. But
if they wouldn't talk so much trash, it would be a little bit easier to be sympathetic toward potentially the best pitcher in baseball being on the shelf for a large degree of the 2022 season. But it's the Mets.
Anyway,
yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. I saw the breaking come through, and I'm like, "What?"
There you go. See, that's why I don't get notices on my phone. But yeah, USA is in Group B with England, Iran, and TBD between Ukraine, Scotland, and Wales.
Boy, I feel like Wales would be really hard to score against.
Yeah, because all they'd have to do is just post up right in front of the net.
Right in front.
That's WALES.
No
the,
H.
The country.
Not whales.
Not the mammal.
Not whales.
No.
Why are you emphasizing the H? Because Chris thinks it's an animal, okay? He thinks the country's an animal.
Group A is it Qatar? Is that how you pronounce it?
Qatar.
Qatar, thank you. Ecuador, Senegal, and Netherlands.
I'll watch Madam Secretary.
It's all right. Group C is Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. Group D is France, Denmark, Tunisia, and either the United Arab Emirates, Australia, or Peru. And apparently, because this doesn't start till November, all of these groups are not final. So Group E is Spain, Germany, Serbia, and then either Costa Rica, which just defeated the U.S. 2-0 on Wednesday night for the U.S. to clinch their spot, or New Zealand. Group F, Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. Group G is Brazil. Whoa, wait a minute. They got Serbia in here twice.
Oh,
yeah.
Good luck, Serbia.
Yeah,
Figure
they got
it out.
There you go. Group G is Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon.
Maybe.
Group H is Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and South Korea. So again, the U.S. in Group B, and Ukraine could possibly be in there as well. So yeah, back in business, U.S. World Cup.
Yes, they are.
After a 2018 absence. I hope the U.S. being back isn't like, Texas is back or whoever else. Yeah.
Hopefully not. Also going around right now, the Nashville Predators are in the playoffs. If they started today, they would take on the Calgary Flames.
They do not start.
Luckily,
today.
they do not start today.
Play tonight at Buffalo.
They do play tonight at Buffalo, which is pretty solid. I mean, this Buffalo team has really been up and down all year. We talked to Pete Weber about them not too long ago.
24, 33, and 11, but I think they beat Nashville there the last time they played.
That was the trap game.
Right.
The trap game we talked about. So you got to be careful when you're up there in Buffalo. And I found this interesting. We were talking with Jeff Hemmer. Buffalo, also the Bisons with an S.
Plural.
I didn't. Anyway.
Buffalo and Lipscomb, right?
And that's it. I mean, no. So Preds really, and this is we don't have enough time to get into it, but the Preds have this inability to take advantage of advantageous situations. And
you're saying they play down to their competition
at times, but it also seems that even when they have a chance to get, to gain 4-6 points over a week, it's like they know that and they're putting pressure on themselves to do that. And so I'm hoping that, somehow John Hines can get this team figured out. I think the second line needs some work right now, but they're getting there. But Tanner Jeannot is back. They've got a much better defense now with their trade deadline acquisition. So down the stretch, it's time for, go and get tough, tough get going, as Rube Baker would say. Is this an opportunity? This is an opportunity for the Preds to really take advantage, because they have a pretty favorable schedule coming up over the next week or so.
They've got Minnesota coming in on Tuesday, which is currently the number 2 team in the Central Division behind the Avalanche. The Preds are 4th behind St. Louis. So that would be a nice win to get following this Buffalo win tonight.
You got to beat Buffalo, though. That's kind of where it sits right now. But Buffalo is not must win, but you got to win those type of games.
Yeah, speaking to your taking advantage of advantageous situations again.
But then
the Preds coming in at
39,
24, and 4. They should beat this Buffalo team even on the road.
Yeah, but after that, you've got Florida, who's number 1 in the Atlantic, which it's here in Nashville, 5:00 puck drop on a Saturday too, by the way. And then you've got Pittsburgh, San Jose, Edmonton, Chicago. Once you get through, Minnesota and Florida, the next 4 games are games you've got to win. They're all at home. You've got San Jose, Edmonton, Chicago, and then St. Louis, who has been good, but is a team that you've beaten. So you really feel like you want to win that. And then, of course, Calgary and Tampa Bay, who could see in the playoffs.
Between that Minnesota game on Tuesday and that Florida game on Saturday at Bridgestone, you've got a trip to Ottawa,
who you just beat
Thursday.
4-1.
Right.
So
again, taking advantage of advantageous situations. If the Predators do that, they should be in pretty good shape as the postseason looms.
NCAA tournament. Let's get to that real quick. Final Four, Villanova, Kansas, 5:09 Central Time tomorrow, 7:49. North Carolina, Duke. Eric Church in attendance.
Yeah, we've established that.
Who you got?
I'm taking Carolina and Kansas.
Wow.
The Roy Williams championship game.
Winner gets to keep Roy's records. I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go Villanova and Duke. So that's. But if North Carolina makes a championship game, Sarah picked that. Sarah had Miami beating North Carolina in the national championship game.
An all ACC championship game, huh?
So look at all ACC Final Four. with the Final Four matchup. That's crazy to me. Nobody saw Carolina.
Don't.
Clearly, Tar Heel's a great mascot.
Don't discount Sarah's college basketball knowledge. And in the name of equity, the women's Final Four is tonight, which with 2 elite games on Monday night, I don't really understand this. But anyway, South Carolina and Louisville is a 6:00 start, followed by Connecticut, the only number 2, and Stanford at 8:30. So
Stanford, South Carolina.
Yeah, and I think it's tough to think anything else because I thought South Carolina was your national champion from the get.
Same.
Yeah.
Interesting though, because Stanford and South Carolina. Stanford was, obviously when they came to Tennessee and then they played the South Carolina game, then they kind of went downhill for a little while, and then they took back off as Stanford does, and as they tend to do. And so they're hot.
I feel like Tara Vanderveer has a little something to do with that.
They're hot and always. So, you go with the Cardinal when they have a chance, and anybody to beat Gino Auriemma personally. So that's our grab bag. We got to 3 of the 4 topics. The other one was pretty deep. Pretty deep. Speaking of equity, I'm sure that we can find some way to get that in on Monday as the national championship looms later that evening.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so that's it for today's Friday show. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us again. 2:00 on Monday. We will have guests.
We will have guests.
Yeah.
We will have Virgil Herring.
That's it, Virgil.
Director of golf at Ensworth School, to kind of preview the Masters.
That's right.
And our other guest is to be determined.
But yes, definitely talking Masters next week. So make sure to get your get that. What was that whimsical Masters music that you had?
I guarantee you JP can find that. He's probably already got it.
Oh yeah, he's got it teed up. Hey, come on, that's a good pun to end on. Y'all come back with us Monday.
Let's end on
2:00. See you then.